For our 10th game of Curses, we're going to take on X-Men for the Sega Genesis. Each character here on the tile screen must be utilized by the end of the game. 4 of these are our playable characters, while the rest will act as our assists. Fearing the rising tide of anti-mutant hysteria, Professor Charles Xavier, a mutant telepath, formed the X-Men to confront the fear that mutants will enslave humanity. I'm not keeping up with this. Professor X formed the X-Men. Magneto believes that mutants should enslave humanity. Stuff about a danger room, simulating dangerous situations. Sometimes you have to crush your enemies where they live. So, yeah. That is some super fast text back there. So, we want to do Hero because Amateur will end the game prematurely for us. To charge small objects with an unknown form of energy which explosively releases its charge on impact. A self-styled master thief, Gambit is an exiled member of the Thieves Guild based in the Big Easy. Amidst of a heist, he discovered an endangered Storm and saved her from the Shadow King. For reasons of his own, Gambit joined and fights with the Blue Strike Force of the X-Men. Don't know what Blue Strike Force is, because I don't read the comics. To teleport himself, his clothing, and a certain amount of additional mass from one point to another by displacing himself through another unknown dimension. That's his abilities. Because of his demonic appearance, Kurt was blamed and mobbed by frightened villagers for a series of child murders when Professor Xavier saved him. Kurt joined with the Professor to become Nightcrawler in order to save the original X-Men and to fight for a better future where mutants and humans can live together. Definitely a broken specimen right there, being able to teleport. Possesses a fast healing ability, enabling him to regenerate damage or destroyed areas of his cellular structure. He also possesses superhumanly acute senses of sight, smell, and hearing. And, of course, the male claws. Little is known of Wolverine's past. Logan became the subject of a government experiment where he acquired a virtually unbreakable skeleton and claws laced with molecules of adamantium. He was codenamed Weapon X and trained to be the leader of the Canadian government's version of the Avengers, Alpha Flight. They renamed Wolverine. He jumped at Professor Xavier's offer to join the new X-Men after growing dissatisfied with his government position. Did not know he was a government worker in the past life. And then there's the leader. To project a beam of concussive force from his eyes. He is invulnerable to the effects of his own power. And Scott Summers was an orphan teenager cursed with his mutant ability to escape the persecution of the other children at the orphanage. Scott ran away and became involved with an evil mutant who sought to exploit his powers. Professor Xavier saved and recruited him to become Cyclops, the leader of the first team of X-Men. Now, I did a bit of research. I think the evil mutant they were speaking of is Shadow King, but I don't know. I'm going to start with Gambit here because he's probably the worst character in the game. And I'll get to that in a bit. Sacre bleu, this must be Professor X's special simulation of the Savage Land. Let's have some fun, eh? So, level 1 is the Savage Land. And the reason why I chose Gambit for this stage is A, he fights with a staff, and though it's not super long range, it's definitely a longer range attack than punching. Anyway, we need to go down here to flip a switch. And now we can proceed with the story. Alright. Now, even though he has a long melee range attack, the reason why he's the weakest is because he kind of struggles getting mobbed. He does have a projectile attack. He can shoot kinetic energy through his playing cards, which he has an infinite supply of. And and they will home in on targets, but the homing mechanism is not very good. So his big benefit is that he has a really high jump naturally, the second highest vertical jump in the game. He has decent horizontal movement, however he isn't particularly fast. So I chose him for this stage because this is the easiest level in the game. Our first boss here is Juggernaut. Definitely making for progress. You just jump and bonk him on the head whenever he comes to a standstill, and then jump over him. That's it. We need to hop on this green dragon. And I think we were supposed to get off here, but we wound up continuing just the same, so thanks for the lift. We're at full health and full immune power. Now, speaking of which, we need to use our first immune assist, Iceman. And here comes our second boss. And my best Zaladane. Alright, so first boss is Zaladane. So, I was just waiting for something to happen, and nothing, so I went summon Archangel. Who managed to hit her twice, so hopefully Storm can come finish her off. Where are you? One bar of health left, so just a quick tap and the battle will be won. Alright, that's level 1 down. Alright, we were supposed to use that terminal. Victorious. I seem to be back in the normal danger room. Now we have to come back here, and now we can swap our playable characters. For level 2, I want to use Cyclops because there's a ton of enemies that will attack from a distance, and we want to be able to deal with that. Another practice simulation. The Shi'ar Empire, home of the Professor's consort Lilandra. Wait, what? Consort? Okay. So, again, because a lot of these enemies take multiple hits and they have melee and long range attacks, can't go in there. Can't go in there either for some reason. Aha! Looks like I'm gonna take this left. Alright, we need to jump up to enter a room or jump down to exit the room. That's very, very jarring, to say the least. And it takes quite a bit of getting used to, because it doesn't feel super organic. Something I will mention is that this game's controls are pretty stiff, and a lot of times it feels like you're not connecting your attacks, or that they pack any semblance of a punch. Next is the fact that these enemies tend to have way faster responding times than you do. And it contributes to the overall difficulty of this game. Oh yeah! Two other things that actually make this game way harder than it needed to be. The first thing you need to know is that these stages are pretty maze-like, and it requires that you hit several switches in order to get through the game. But the second thing that contributes to this game's overall difficulty is the fact that these enemies respawn infinitely. You make it far far enough away from the screen where you kill them, they will respawn. They don't stay. And you know, one of the biggest bugaboos in gaming is infinitely respawning enemies. Random encounters, that's fine. Infinitely respawning enemies, not so much. So I'm just sort of navigating this place, trying to figure out where to go. And yeah, the gray ones take 2 hits, the gold ones take 3, and the blue ones take 4 hits. Or you just shoot them with the blazer and they die instantly, but you lose some of your mutant power, which we want to save. Now, why not use some of my mutant assists to help me out? Because they can actually come in handy against the boss later on in the stage. Well, not every stage is going to have multiple boss fights. Some of them will have like 2 to 3 of them. We don't need to go in there to get those power-ups because we're at full health. Now, something you need to keep in mind too is it's not enough to hit certain switches to make forward progress. Sometimes you have to destroy certain switches in order to allow for certain doors to open. So it takes like 4 to 5 hits to kill one of these blue guys. See, we can't go any further. And we need to hit these switches right here. And there's another switch up there that we need to... Oh. And oh yeah, I forgot. Jump kicks will deal 2 damage each time. And now we can make forward movement. And we need to jump at the last possible time. Note that that this probably would have been the best time to get Jean Grey involved. However, it would cost a ton of health, and I don't know. If you fall off the edge of a cliff, Jean Grey will come in and save you. But you will lose a ton of health in the process. And who knows if I'll be needing to use Cyclops again in the future. I just might. Alright, I'm going to just go do the laser things because it would save so much more time just lasering the blue guys. That screen would have gone on forever until every enemy on the screen is dead. And now I don't really need to worry too much here. And you have to jump down to go into this room here. And I don't know what that was. I'm gonna take this left and face the boss. Move to Archangel. Deathbird. Yep, that's our 3rd boss. Storm absolutely wrecked shit up for me. Thanks a lot, ma'am. So yeah, Nighthawk and Storm made quick work out of Deathbird and her minions. To be fair, I don't know most of these characters. Lilandra, what's going on? Is this a simulation or not? No, Cyclops, it's not, and I'm sorry. I gave you no warning of these events, but I need your help. Controlling my sister, Deathbird. She was threatening my life to overtake the Empire, but thanks to you, she won't be a threat for a while. I apologize, and thank you. I'll teleport you back to Earth. Alright, and we're fully healed. Now, Lilandra and the Professor have a good relationship. Deathbird or no. She should be able to just ask Xavier out of it. I need to find him and ask him. Man. Whatever. I'm gonna swap in Wolverine now. And this is more for A, lore reasons, and B, I'll have to put this on the list of the main mind games that have been played on me. Savage Land, Shi'ar, Lilandra's Babel, now Excalibur. Something is not clicking. You're right, Wolverine. Hiya, Charlie. Contacting me by psychic link? What's going on? I'm onto something, but I need more time. You need to be especially careful. Your life is in danger. Alright, so I chose Wolverine for this stage because, well, there's a certain boss that we need to fight, and this boss is of notable significance. Just wait for him to crouch, jump, attack, crouch, attack, crouch, and we can just cycle through Wolverine. Any character can do this, but this is significant to Wolverine in particular, since Wolverine and Sabretooth are a bit of a competitive rivalry. I don't know much about the X-Men universe or any of these characters. I do know about Wolverine and Sabretooth, though. Now, we need to hit this switch first in order to access this store. We can't do anything about the enemies here. They're basically just clones of the 4 playable X-Men. Hostile clones. So we need to grab the... After hitting that flip switch, we grab the glasses, and now we can see and properly deal with these clones. Just know, however, that if you take any significant damage, you will lose these goggles that will allow you to see these clones. And for our 5th boss, we get another fight against the Juggernaut, bitch. Say a little about X-Men The Last Stand. It has its moments. It's definitely a fun little movie. So, same strategy as last time. Just jump and punch him in the head. Just whack him in the head. And now that we flipped another switch, now we busted another switch, it's time to get back down here, go in this room. And we got something. Now, note that we have not used Wolverine's mutant powers yet. Keep this in mind. We want to take care of this guy, because otherwise he'll just be waiting for us when we get back. And would you look at that? Now we can go through that door we passed. And yes, this is the route you have to take unless you're playing as Nightcrawler. Then Nightcrawler can just phase through all this shit. So in the next spot, I shall see if you are a worthy mutant. And this is the strategy. When he gets big, jump up so that he does this again, which shrinks him back down, attack. Rinse, repeat. Yes, this is Apocalypse. Big bad Apocalypse, who had his own video game about taking him down. It has final seasons of both X-Men, the animated series, and X-Men Evolution taken down. I pull out the claws for a brief period of time because I was getting concerned that I'd be boxed in. So, there. Very, very easy. This... Professor X, I've stayed alive. I physically sense you are okay. It's good to know. What's going on? Our danger room computers have been infected by a virus, taking control of the holographic projectors and increasing the pain threshold to the point of serious harm. With each program, it gets worse and worse. The routine simulations have been turned into a deadly reality. I need a little more time to hack at the code and figure out a strategy. Until then, you must persevere. Good luck, Wolverine. And now, with all out of the way, we can probably make use of Nightcrawler for at least 2 of the remaining 3 stages. And by the way, those balls, you had future Earth. After the eradication of mankind, a sentinel infested. Racist landscape. Let's hope I'm not the next to go. Now, we just do the Nightcrawler teleport thing to just skip through whole sections. And this is how broken Nightcrawler is. This is definitely a Nightcrawler level stage. I could have also just as easily used Nightcrawler in the previous stage. Though, probably not the first part, because that would have messed... And I'm trying to hit that switch there, but I don't know why it won't work. Come on. Hit it. Jesus fuck, huh? Alright. Thank you. Don't know why that switch was giving me such a hard time, but there you go. Going this way now. And that switch means I could pass through that laser barrier. Trying to bamf these guys with Nightcrawler's teleport. And Nightcrawler has the greatest horizontal mobility of any character in the game. And it's just sheer hacks. And no, I don't count this as sequence breaks since this is part of the game's design. Look at that! No need to use Iceman here. I'll save him for later. Now, I'm going to try to take out all these enemies because I do know there is a switch somewhere. And I need to flip that switch. Don't know if that's it. Alright, where is it? Alright, I'll probably need to take this left here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go down this time. Alright, was that it? Guy gets it. I don't know if I got it. Just It's definitely one of these things. Okay, looks like I got it. Now, I'm performing the super jump. You press B and C at the same time. It ain't working. So Iceman has to come to the rescue, so I don't have to. The reason why I'm not using Nightcrawler's teleporter to zigzag upwards, A, I want to save my mutant power. And I need to use Storm to flip the switch down there. So, you all make great helps. And this is, I forgot his name. Alpha or something? Alright, he's not coming near me, so this is an easy cheese boss fight for a Nightcrawler, but he has to cooperate. Alright. It took a bit of finicking, but I got him to cooperate. This is hurting. Please tell me you found something. Yes, the reason you keep coming back to the danger room after each time, or space simulation, is that you are defeating a program. It then has to take time to adjust itself to a more difficult simulation. I have found a way to defeat it. At the end of the program, you must disable and then completely reset the computer that controls the danger room. Okay, keep this in mind. Reset the computer that controls the danger room. As in reset the Sega Genesis console. I will try to assist you. But you must be the one that resets the computer. Yeah, when Professor X tells you to reset the computer, he means reset the Sega Genesis. Now, I'm going to swap back to Gambit, because even though Cyclops is a better character overall, Gambit, I feel, can actually deal with the low-hanging fruit in the next enemies a little better. By the way, those balls, you fight them to replenish health and mutant power. The crunch. The end of time. Can't stand around. Better find the way to defeat this program before time runs out. And I have no idea what the gauge to the left is supposed to be. So, as far as I know, it doesn't seem to do anything. So, careful navigation of this place. Good. Be careful, those TV monitors will explode. And this is why I chose Gambit over Cyclops, even though I think those monitors with the faces will let you know which spots you should go to, as the others will burst into flames. However, Gambit has a high jump, so avoiding that's not an issue. And I'm not super concerned about health or mutant abilities here, because I'm not going to be using... This will be the last time we will be using Gambit in this run. And for the fight against Mojo. Another character I know nothing about, but creeps me the fuck out anyways. Quick question. Is Mojo actually stronger than Apocalypse? So this is literally the strategy. You hop over him, requires a double jump, and just hit his backside. And just get him in that loop and you will be able to beat him no problemo. So, and I can just navigate this stage just fine. That's okay, I can take the hit. And because we're at the end, I don't really care about avoiding the obstacles. Just swipe this, swap in Nightcrawler, reset the Genesis. System reset, virus program suspended. Yes, you have to reset your Sega Genesis for this part. And yes, I decided to save time by swapping in Nightcrawler. Back in the non-holographic world at Professor Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. The computer has pinpointed Asteroid M as the signal's origin. That's Magneto's fortress in space. It's going to be difficult, but to prevent this from happening again, we have to get the missing codes. Sometimes you have to crush your enemies where they live. And by the way, this is the only appearance of Psylocke and Beast in the whole game. All aboard, next stop, Asteroid M. Psylocke does nothing, and Beast is the one that takes us to Asteroid M. So, there you go. Now, I'm going to use Nightcrawler for the rest of the game. And note that we can actually go through this hallway now. And now for the final level, Asteroid M. A place that, to my knowledge, has only appeared in the X-Men Evolutions cartoon. Flip the switch there so we can get past the electric gate. And because this is the final level, I can at least permit myself to go a bit ham with Nightcrawler's abilities. Archangel here. Bam. I actually managed to hit that switch. Okay. And, no, that's not the place I needed. I need to turn that off, so... Iceman here to help me get through this. I mean, might as well. This is the final stage, and these bosses have been pitifully easy as of late. I mean, the reason why I used... Just gonna wait down here for a bit so I can regenerate a bit of mutant power. Alright, now I can make my way across. Do not mean to go down here, but... okay. I know it. Alright, I'll take the damage. And I fully regenerated my mutant ability. Alright, and Nightcrawler is also really good against Magneto, as he can dodge Magneto's meteorites effortlessly. Alright. And now I lure him here. Bam him for a ton of damage. Move to the other side. Dodge the laser beam. Bam him. Rinse, repeat. Again, did not mean to let loose like that, but that's okay. Final level. And now for a bit of a stylized finish after a band. We're going to swap into Wolverine, pull out the claws, take the damage, and we won. Magneto. Curse you, Charles Xavier. Curse you and your dream. Has blinded you. You call it a vision, but hope has clouded your lenses and obscured your reality. Homo sapiens and Homo sapiens superior, mutant kind, will never live in harmony. They are scared of us, Charles. Humans are frightened by our powers, and when fear and ignorance unite, their reaction is always to enslave or destroy what they don't understand. You want to help them see the light when all they want is to extinguish the flame. It is because of your dream, your impossible dream, of uniting water and flame that I must destroy your cause. No, Magneto. The water and the flame are one. A harmony of opposition. The fire of the sun evaporates the water, bring rain, which floods the earth only to sprout life with the help of the sun's rays. My X-Men are the sun. Through example and unity, we can overcome adversity and remake this world from our dreams. But because of mutants like you, Magneto, the dream I reach for is tainted in the human heart. Then kill me now. I will not. Only time will tell if my vision is any clearer than yours. Nevertheless, I am forced to destroy your computers to eradicate your virus once and for all. This battle is over. But the war will always rage. Man, this kind of writing is the reason why people love the X-Men to this very day. And is one of the most popular Marvel properties as a result. Hopefully Disney doesn't ruin them. But that's X-Men for the Sega Genesis. Definitely my least favorite game played so far on the Sega Genesis. Hit detection's a little spoffy. For what we choose to believe, we live and die for. We strive to better the world we were thrown into. We are, well, the X-Men, of course. So, yeah. Where's Archangel and Nightcrawler? Oh well. Or Storm for that matter. But I digress. This is a good game. My least favorite of my 12 games of Christmas thus far. The hit detection's a little spoffy. The game is a little too complex for its own good, but overall, it is definitely a fun game. Not really much to say. Oh yeah, and the music is just absolutely dreadful. I believe this is Gem soundtrack right there, and it just sounds like static. Just static noise in the background, which is why I reduced the volume so all the way. It might be your cup of tea, but it doesn't really compete with me. So really the only thing I didn't do is call upon Jean Grey. To get Jean Grey to appear, you have to fall down a pit and she will come pick you up. That never happened because you lose a lot of health doing that. But that's it. That's 10 games of Christmas down with only 2 more to go. I wonder which the 2 games these are gonna be exactly. Well, who knows, but one thing's for certain, once I'm done finishing the final grand Final Fantasy VII, I will be resuming 12 games of Christmas once more. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe on my channel, I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gordon, signing out.